Hey guys, it's Eva. Today I'm going to be talking about the rise of animal diversity. Animals have the following characteristics. They are multicellular heterotrophs. Most have muscle and nervous tissue. Most reproduce sexually with a flagellate sperm and a large egg, uniting to form a diploid zygote. The diploid stage dominates the life cycle. Some animals have larvae, an immature form distinct from the adult stage that will undergo metamorphosis. Animals share Hox genes, a unique homeobox containing family of genes that plays important roles in development. Now moving on. Animals can be characterized by body plans. These are no symmetry, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, and cephalization. No symmetry is the sponges. It can be cut, but it is not the same on either or any sides. Radial symmetry occurs in jellyfish and other organisms, in which any cut through the central axis of the organism would produce mirror images. Bilateral symmetry occurs in lobsters, humans, and many other organisms. These animals have a right side and a left side, and a single cut would divide the animal into two mirror image halves. There is also a dorsal/backside, a ventral/belly side, and anterior, the head side, and posterior, the tail ends. For cephalization, it's a concentration of sensory equipment at one end, usually the anterior or head end of an organism. And there is also the colon, is a fluid or air-filled space located between the digestive tract and outer body wall. Body cavities have several functions, including cushioning suspended organs, acting as a hydrostatic skeleton, and enabling internal organs to grow and move independently. Evolutionary relationships among living animals produce a specific framework in studying the rise of animals. All animals share a common ancestor. That is, animals are a monotheistic clade. Sponges are basal animals. That is, sponges branch from the base of the animal tree. Most animals belong to the clade Bilateria. Bilateral symmetry share a derived character from this clade, which includes a majority of animal phyla. Most animal phyla are invertebrates, animals that lack a backbone. Only one animal phylum, Chordata, includes vertebrates such as fish, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. There are invertebrates and vertebrates. In invertebrates, for example, there is phylum Porifera, which is pore-bearing animals, including the sponges. Sponges lack true tissues and are diploblastic, which means their body consists of only 2 layers of cells. They are basal animals forming the base of the animal tree. Sponges have no nerves or muscles. The body of a sponge looks like a sack with holes in it. Water is drawn through the pores and flows out through the top of the movement of flagellate cells, circulating nutrients and removing waste. Next there is phylum Platyhelminthes, which is flatworms, including planarians, tapeworms, and flukes. This group has a gastrovascular cavity and no colon. Their bodies are thin and flat, providing sufficient surface area for gas exchange and circulation without special organs. There are sensory cells clustering in the anterior end, which is called cephalization. This group and all their other animal phyla have bilateral symmetry, placing them in the clade Bilateria. Next is phylum Mollusca, which includes slugs, clams, snails, squids, and octopuses. They have a true colon, a body cavity lined on both sides with the mesoderm, as do all the phyla that follow. They are muscular, foot for locomotion. There is also phylum Arthropoda, which includes insects, arachnids, arachnids, don't judge me, millipedes, centipedes, and crustaceans. They all have an exoskeleton of chitin, which must be molted to grow and join appendages. Insects undergo metamorphosis during development. Incomplete metamorphosis is just the egg, nymph, and adult. For example, in grasshoppers. Incomplete metamorphosis is egg, larvae, pupa, and then adult. For example, butterflies. There is the clade deuterostomia, which contains a diverse array of organisms, from sea stars to chordates. They all have radial cleavage during embryonic development. You are a chordate. So, what other animals are deuterostomes, and therefore more closely related to than grasshoppers? There is the phylum Echinodermata, which includes starfish, brittle stars, sea urchins, sand dollars, sea lilies, and sea cucumbers. Echinoderm larvae have bilateral symmetry, but adults radiate from the center, often as 5 spokes. There is phylum Chordata, which includes 2 invertebrates, subphyla, as well as all vertebrates. There are 4 shared derived characteristics from all chordates. Note that some of these are present only during embryonic development. A notochord is a long, flexible rod that provides a skeletal support and appears during the embryonic development between the digestive tube and the dorsal nerve cord. This is not only the spinal cord or the vertebral column. Students commonly confuse all of these. A dorsal hollow nerve cord is formed at the plate of an ectoderm that rolls into a hollow tube and develops onto the brain and spinal cord. Other animals have a ventral nerve cord. Also, the pharyngeal slits. These are grooves that separate a series of pouches on the sides of the pharynx. In most chordates, the slits allow water to enter and exit the mouth without going through the digestive tract. Oh, God. Sorry, I just woke up and I'm tired. They also have a muscular tail posterior to the anus. Next is vertebrae. Vertebrae derive their name from the vertebrae, a series of bones that make up the backbone. In the majority of vertebrae enclose the spinal cord and have assumed the roles of the notochord. Vertebrae are members of the phylum Chordata. There are chondrichthyes. They have flexible endoskeletons composed of cartilage, possesses streamlined bodies, are denser than water, and will sink if they stop swimming. Some examples are sharks and rays, such as stingrays. There's also reptiles, which include turtles, lizards, and snakes, alligators and crocodiles, birds, and the extinct dinosaurs. Modern reptiles have scales containing keratin, which are adaptation for terrestrial living because they reduce water loss. They also have amnio eggs, which is discussed below. Most reptiles are ectothermic, regulating body temperature through behavioral adaptations rather than by metabolism. Birds are endothermic, which means warm-blooded, and they have feathers and a 4-chambered heart. Okay. Now, lastly, it is mammals. Mammals share certain characteristics. They all possess mammary glands that produce milk and have a body covered in hair. These 2 characteristics are excellent examples of shared derived characteristics. They have a 4-chambered heart and are endothermic. They also have internal fertilization, and most are born rather than hatched. With it like, exclusion of, like, what's that thing called? Perry a platypus. Animals can be placed into 3 groups. Monotremes are egg-laying animals that have hair and produce milk. Examples are platypuses and spiny anteaters. Marsupials are born early in development and complete embryonic development in a marsupial pouch while nursing. Examples include kangaroos and opossums. Eutherines are placental animals. They have a longer period of pregnancy, completing their development in the uterus. Examples include mice, dogs, and humans. Humans belong to the order Primates, along with monkeys and gorillas. Some characteristics common to all primates include opposable thumbs, large brains, and short jaws, forward-looking eyes, flat nails, well-developed parental care, and complex social behavior. One important evolutionary development that allowed extensive colonization of dry habitats was the amniotic egg, which is a shell that retains water so it can be laid in a dry environment. This clade of amnios consists of mammals and reptiles. Amniotic eggs have 4 specialized extra-embryonic membranes. The amnion, which encloses a fluid compartment that bathes in the embryo and absorbs shock, and the chorion, allantois, and yolk sac, which function in gas exchange, waste storage, and transfer of stored nutrients. Thank you very much. That was animal diversity. This is me. Bye.